Ukrainian 3rd and 5th Assault Brigades continued attacking Klishchiivka simultaneously from two sides. Tank operators from the 3rd Assault Brigade recently released a video showing how they made an attack on Russian fortified positions in the tree lines north of the settlement. The attack was conducted by at least two tanks that unleashed their high explosive shells in order to undermine Russian defense. Such tank raids are usually immediately followed by a ground assault. Under cover of tank fire, Ukrainian infantry fighting vehicles drive to the target and deploy their infantry that engages in close combat fighting. Once the enemy fire is suppressed, the remaining troops hide inside the shelters. If the shelter is not equipped with all-round firing points, then their best hope is that the Russians in the neighboring position manage to overwhelm Ukrainians with fire. Otherwise, the strong point is cleared with several grenades. In the aftermath of continuous storming operation north of Klishchiivka, Ukrainians managed to clear several more tree lines on their way to the settlement. According to the latest updates, Russians are controlling the main trench network on a hill and two dense tree areas around it. A prominent Russian military analyst stated that Russian forces lack the organization, fire support, coordination, and training necessary to defend the Bakhmut's flanks. The analyst also complained that Russian forces allowed Ukrainian forces to drive an infantry fighting vehicle for 15 minutes into the Russian rear without destroying it, with the Ukrainian assault lasting only 16 minutes in total. However, this is only half of the bad news for Russians. Several days ago, a Wagner-affiliated source reported that Ukrainians had crossed a canal and were developing their second line of attack. Recently published geolocated footage confirms these claims, as one video shows how Ukrainian fighters from the 80th Assault Brigade are destroying enemy ammunition depots with drone strikes. Another one shows how Ukrainian artillery or mortar crews are hitting Russian positions 500 meters south of the previous ones, and the latest video shows how Ukrainians crossed the canal, approached the enemy and successfully established control over the positions on the other side of the canal. This is a very significant development because it means that Ukrainians proceed further with the plan of engulfing Klishchiivka from two sides, which is crucial for conducting a successful storming operation. As mentioned previously, there is an extensive trench network on a hill that is surrounded by two small forests, which together make an extremely powerful fortification. That is why undermining Russian defensive capabilities prior to the assault is extremely important. And while Ukrainian infantry is generating tactical gains, Ukrainian artillery and drone crews are making Russian logistics a nightmare. Ukrainian 28th Mechanized Brigade published a video of how they hunted down Russian reinforcements near Andriivka. In the aftermath of one day of continuous monitoring of the road by drone operators and the help of the artillery crew, Ukrainians managed to destroy 10 Russian vehicles, including one tank. The vehicles were delivering ammunition and manpower. In the meantime, Ukrainian drone operators from the 5th Assault Brigade have focused on the opposite side of this region, namely on the Russian positions in the forest. The footage shows how they destroyed an enemy mortar position and an ammunition depot. It looks like Ukrainian fighters that are on the doorstep of the main Russian fortification are waiting until other units attack Klishchiivka from the north and south. This way, there is a high chance that Russians will just abandon their positions for fear of being taken into a pocket. Ukrainian military officials previously reported that Russian forces are transferring unspecified airborne and motorized rifle units from the Luhansk direction to the Bakhmut direction, and many of these soldiers were mobilized. The continuous development of tactics that exploit the low morale of the Russian soldiers helps Ukrainians to clear positions much faster and with very light damage.